Hi, we are Team Winner. Connected service we created for adapting to climate change is Smart Outdoor Activity Alerts. Let's begin the description of the air quality monitoring system for children's playgrounds. Our project developed an architecture that presents the status of outdoor activities for children by monitoring fine dust concentration and air quality using various sensors. The measurements are stored in the database and the server connected with the database, so we can offer web-based APIs, ensuring effortless access to information for users. Now let's look into further details. Firstly, the air quality sensor measure, and if the measured value is higher than the specified reference value, it is classified as prohibited. On the other hand, if it falls within acceptable limits, we proceed to measure the concentration of fine dust and classify the status based on following conditions. Subsequently, when a person is recognized by the human body sensor and the ultrasonic sensor, this status is transmitted. A message corresponding to the status is then output through the speaker and displayed on the LCD screen. This is our website, and users can check the smart outdoor activity alerts without going to actual playground. First, website provides information on the average weather in our area. It identifies the current location of users and provides weather and air pollution information based on users' position. Also, we can select a playground with better air quality by checking the status using markers. Playgrounds that exceed the fine dust or air quality standards are classified as prohibited, and the user may select on outdoor activities in the status of permitted. The markers are also updated according to the sensor's measurements because the database collects the measurements in real time. The process will be shown in a later video. The guide gives explanation the standard for children's outdoor activity alerts.
Currently, outdoor activities are in the permitted level. Now is the perfect weather for outdoor activities. Don't miss such a great opportunity, and have a great time with your friends. Currently, outdoor activities are in the prohibited level. The weather is bad today, so please stay indoors for your health and safety. Currently, outdoor activities are in the prohibited level. The weather is bad today, so please stay indoors for your health and safety.
Hello, our team's name is Guardians of Forest. We will explain our wildfire prevention and initial suppression service ferry system. How will climate change affect our lives if the temperature rises by 1.5 degrees Celsius? And what does adapting to climate change really mean? Our team thought that minimizing damage in preparation for natural disaster caused by climate change was the first step in adapting to climate change. A rise in temperature means an increase in the rate of water evaporation on the surface of the earth. This means that our forests and mountains are dry and dry. Dry mountains and forests lead to large wildfires that engulf one mountain with very small sparks. In fact, according to statistics from the Korea Forest Service in Korea, if the temperature rises by 1.5 degrees, the rate of wildfires will more than double. Wildfires directly damage our lives and property and destroy the wild ecosystem. Wildfires also generate huge amounts of carbon dioxide, which promotes global warming, and climate change caused by global warming has a negative impact on wildfires again. Our team thought that service for wildfire prevention and effective initial suppression were needed to prepare for this vicious cycle and reduce damage. We devised a device that can prevent and effectively suppress wildfires by connecting Raspberry Pi with temperature and humidity sensors DHT11, gas and smoke sensing gas sensors and sprinklers, and reducing ultra-low frequency distraction caused by wild animals. Due to the nature of the demo, the sprinkler is replaced with LED and the ultra-low frequency with buzzer. Fu is surprised to see the fire. How will the ferry service react in the event of a fire? This screen allows the administrator to check how Fairy works. You can also see real-time temperature and humidity, gas values, warning message, and a list of previously measured sensor values. Each data contains a timestamp for easy monitoring. In addition, through the Korea Forest Service's mountain weather information received through the API, you can predict the expected path and range of wildfires by receiving wind direction and wind speed values in area equipped with sensors. When a warning message is displayed, you can check the operation of the sprinkler and ultra-low frequency device that responded to the warning. When humidity drops below 45%, issue an operation instruction to the sprinkler with a warning message the humidity is too low. If the temperature rises more than 2 degrees within 1 minute, issue an operation instruction to the sprinkler with a warning message. In this case, the ultra-low frequency device works together. The temperature rise rate and time limit used in the setting can be adjusted according to the situation at the site. If the value of the hydrated value is detected more than a certain value, issue an operation instruction to the sprinkler with a warning message. In this case, the ultra-low frequency device works together. Next, I will talk about the development direction of our service. We have implemented one Fairy device, but if many of these devices are installed, we will be able to implement communication between them. This communication system, combined with prediction of fire range and loss flow winds and wind speeds in the fire area, will reduce the scale of forest fire damage. In mountainous areas, communication is often difficult due to topography and altitude. We accept that we can overcome the limitation of communication by combining our service with LoRa technology that supports low bandwidth wireless communication between low power equipment. LoRa's long-distance communication function is affected by frequency modulation and transmission output strength, so it works well even at high terrain and wide distances. Shall we go to the scene with the advanced ferry service?
Hello. We are Team Vaxiori, the group that proposed the idea of Happy Piggy for the Girls in ICT 2023 Hackathon on climate-affected future life. We would like to present to you the demonstration of our pigsty demo system, which we developed and proposed through our idea proposal. This demo model of the pigsty was created using a demo kit consisting of Raspberry Pi and sensor modules. Firstly, when the installed water level sensor detects a certain level of inundation, the stepper motor rotates the rail, and the impervious door goes down. This system helps to prevent damage to the pigsty in case of flooding. Secondly, when the flame detection sensor detects a fire, the sprinkler installed on the ceiling of the pigsty is activated to suppress the fire. This sprinkler is connected to a water tank that collects rainwater. Thirdly, we simulate a situation of heat wave by attaching a hand warmers to the temperature and humidity sensor. When the temperature reaches a certain level, water is sprayed on the roof to lower the overall temperature of the pigsty. The hose used for this purpose is connected to a water tank that collects rainwater, just like the sprinkler system. After the water cools the roof, it flows back into the water tank. Fourthly, by wrapping a wet tissue around the temperature and humidity sensor, we simulate a rainy environment. When it rains, the lid of the closed water tank opens and collects rainwater. Next, we will show you a live streaming demonstration. This screen is an implementation of a web app. The Pi camera connected to the pigsty is streaming the live situation inside the pigsty. The current video being streamed is a screen showing a pig video being played on an iPad inside the pigsty. This technology allows us to remotely prepare for unexpected situations in the pigsty. Especially, you can control GPIO using the implemented buttons. You can move the impervious door of pigsty as follows. You can also operate the sprinkler of pigsty as follows. Next, the hardware implementation of the pigsty was done like this. We designed the entire circuit diagram of the pigsty model using these modules. We used I2C communication and the PCF 8591 module to receive analog values for the water level sensor. When using a water pump or motor, we used external voltage. In particular, we used a relay module to control high voltage for the water pump. Finally, we will explain the communication process between the pigsty and the web app implemented in this way. First of all, the real-time streaming of the pigsty was implemented by using the UV4 server to launch a server with the IP address of the Raspberry Pi. Additionally, we were able to control the sensors using buttons within the web app. We implemented this feature by utilizing the Flask server to send data received from the web app to the Raspberry Pi, which in turn manipulated the sensors. We conclude our Team Happy Piggy demo video with this. Thank you for watching.
서울 관악구의 반지하 주택에 빗물이 차오르면서 미처 빠져나오지 못한 일가족 3명이 숨졌습니다.
어떻게 대피했나도 사실 생각이 잘 안 나요. 워낙에 패닉 상태였어서.
The increasingly deadly floods hitting New York are a product of the climate crisis that the city infrastructure wasn't adequately prepared to withstand. Mayor Bill de Blasio has said that the city will work on a better warning system to alert and evacuate residents.
This is the biggest wake-up call we could possibly get. We're going to have to do a lot of things differently and quickly.
While scientists cannot always predict exactly when and where such rainstorms will occur, they understand how global warming is making them stronger. As temperatures rise, more water evaporates into the air from the oceans and land. And, for every 1 degree Celsius of global warming, the atmosphere can hold roughly 7% more water vapor. That means when a rainstorm does eventually form, there is more water that can fall to the ground, sometimes within a very short period. Recent studies have detected an increase in hourly rainfall extremes in parts of the United States, Europe, Australia and Asia. Cities like New York and Seoul are often more vulnerable to sudden downpours because so much of their land area is paved over with impervious surfaces like asphalt. Which means that runoff is channeled into streets and sewers rather than being absorbed into the landscape. So we are now representing our Smart FloodGuard, a solution for the challenges climate change brought to us. This is what our Smart FloodGuard looks like. Our product senses the water level and detects human alerts and reports the emergency with the following 3 steps. To avoid equipment failure due to flooding, the water level was measured by converting the angular displacement using buoyancy into a digital value. After storing the water level value received by the sensor in the database built with SQL, the buzzer rings when level 1 is reached based on the latest value. You can check the water level in real time through the application. When level 2 is reached, the camera turns on to detect people. A report message is transmitted based on the difference of the number of people detected between level 3 and level 2. Step 1 warning. Step 2, camera turns on, sends alerts. Step 3 compares cumulative number and automatically sends emergency message if detected. Now this is what our smart flood guard really looks like. We expect that our smart flood guard will reduce human and property damage caused by heavy rains and floods.
오늘 산책하러 가야지? 자전거를 오랜만에 자전거를 타야겠다. 근데 미세먼지 때문인지 너무 답답해. 좀 깨끗한 공기가 있는 곳을 가고 싶은데 방법이 없을까? 그럴 땐 에어플로우를 사용해봐. 엥? 이게 뭐지? 이 에어플로우 사용해서 내가 직접 데이터를 만들어 볼까? 그럼 지금 내가 올린 데이터들을 확인해볼까?
사용자가 에어플로우를 사용해서 업로드한 정보들은 웹페이지에서 확인할 수 있습니다.
이 페이지구나.
이때 자체적으로 필터링되어 사용자가 필요한 정보만 확인할 수 있습니다. 고온의 경우 기상청 폭염주의보 기준에 따라 33도 이상인 경우에 고온이며 빨간색으로 나타납니다.
현재 온도가 36도나 되네.
미세먼지의 경우 환경부 미세먼지 예보 등급에 따라 36 이상인 경우 노란색으로 나타납니다.
아직 없는 걸 보아서 오늘 미세먼지는 좋음인가 봐.
유해가스는 초록색이며 클릭 시 각 지역에 해당하는 LPG, 메테인, 스모크를 확인할 수 있습니다.
이 정도 되는구나.
먼지의 경우 기상청 건조주의보 기준에 따라 35 이하인 경우에 파란색으로 나타납니다.
에코 길찾기? 이게 뭐지?
에코 길찾기의 경우 초기 시작 위치는 사용자의 현재 위치라고 가정합니다. 그리고 도착 위치는 핀에서 선택할 수 있습니다.
여기가 지금 내 위치. 맞지. 여기서 도착해서 이렇게 가면 되는구나. 그럼 저기 가봐야겠다. 진짜 에어플로우를 사용하니까 시원하고 깨끗한 글이 올 수 있었어. 그리고 사용자들이 측정한 실시간 값들을 볼 수 있으니까 어느 지역이 깨끗하고 더웠다? 시원했는지 바로 알 수 있어서 너무 좋다. 다음에도 이용해야지? 이렇게 가면 되는구나.
Hello. Say hi to the YouTube live attendees. Okay, so warm welcome to the finale of Girls in ICT 2023 Hackathon. So I'm Elaine King, you're the host of today's event. So nice to meet you. And we are joining this live from the Seoul R&D campus in Seoul, South Korea, as you see. And here with me, there's a 5 finalists of our hackathon event, as well as our judges for today. So I'm very happy to have you here virtually and in person. And the Girls in ICT Hackathon began as a part of our company's culture that embraces diversity and inclusion. So it aims to encourage women's participation in the ICT industry so that more diverse voices can be represented in the industry where our company, Ericsson-LG, leads. So during the past 3 months, alongside the Ericsson-LG R&D mentors, we thoroughly reviewed your ideas and demonstrate and technical skills to select these top 5 finalists of the hackathon. And this is the finale event. So before we start this YouTube live, these 5 finalists list conclude their final presentation. And currently the final evaluation for the best awards in progress by our judges. And we are so excited who will be the winner. So, and while the evaluation process, I'd like to share with you why we run this project and what values we pursue as a leader of this ICT industry. So, first of all, please join me in welcoming Hannes Ekström, our CEO, who will be presenting who we are and diversity and inclusion. Please, Hannes, come to the stage.
All right, thank you very much, Elaine, and very welcome everybody, including online YouTube, but also here in the room, and special welcome, of course, to our finalists today. But I'd also like to welcome our special guest here from the UN Women's Center of Excellence, and also our employees from Ericsson-LG. So, I'm going to give a short overview of our company and also, of course, put that in context of our pledge towards diversity and inclusion. And our vision, if we start there, is a world where limitless connectivity improves lives, redefines businesses, and pioneers a sustainable future. And when I look at this and I look at the finalist presentation today, I think it resonates a lot as well with the purpose and the theme of today's projects that we have seen. So let's start digging into this vision a bit. So improving lives, if you think about mobile communication, where Ericsson and Ericsson-LG is active today, we have created over the past 30 years a mobile miracle. So today, more than 8 billion subscriptions have been sold globally. And of course, with the affordability of devices, more and more people are able to access communication, mobile communication services. And I think this is fantastic. I think we all agree that this is definitely improving the lives of people. However, still 2.9 billion people today are still unconnected. So there's still work to do and more people to connect and more lives to improve through our technology. We also want to redefine businesses, and those who have read and experienced 5G, you will know that 5G is not only about accessing consumers like us or workers to improve lives and efficiency, but it's also about deploying mobile communication systems for enterprises to improve efficiency and automation in enterprises, like you see on the picture here, ports, logistics center, offices, and so on. And here we're very active on the Korean market. So we have actually deployed a couple of weeks back Korea's first logistics center connected via 5G system. So this is, we are off to a very good start here in Korea, and we expect a lot of business opportunities here moving forward as well. And now last but not least, we want to pioneer a sustainable future. When we look at globally, of course, 5G connectivity, you need new equipment to be deployed into the mobile systems. But with our technology development, we are making sure that we are actually able to introduce new equipment, new capacity into the systems, but at the same time reduce the carbon footprint that we use. So we as a company, Ericsson globally, we have pledged to halve our carbon emissions by 2030 and to be net zero as a company by 2040 in our own operations, but also in the entire supply chain. So this is what we are working towards, and that is of course in our internal activities, but also in our production and what we ship to our customers. So that's a very broad picture of Ericsson as a company. And if we go back in history, just want to give a few glimpses into the history of this company. So this was actually founded, the company, it's a Swedish company, and it was founded in 1876 by the gentleman on the picture here. He was called Lars Magnus Ericsson, and that's where obviously the Ericsson name comes from. And he set up a shop in a repair shop actually for telegraphy equipment, to a repair center for this. And on this picture is his wife, who was his first business partner. But very soon then they went into own design and own innovation, and started also actually 5 years after establishing the company, started exporting their products first to Norway and then to Russia as well. So Ericsson is a very international company. Today we are supplying equipment to our products and services in 180 countries globally, and of course South Korea is one of them. So 1876 the company was founded, and 20 years later the first equipment was actually shipped to South Korea. So in 1896 there was a telephone switch shipped to South Korea, and this was during the Joseon dynasty, right? So it's long time ago. So we have been present in South Korea for a very long time, and we intend to stay here for a long time as well. Good. So I think, again, if we go into a little bit more modern part of the history, this is now the mobile telephony era. We are now in the 5th generation of mobile telephony. And of course, in the 1980s, we started with voice. It was the GSM systems. We went on, AMPS systems. We went on to GSM in 2G, added SMS, mobile broadband with 3G. So maybe some of the participants here are a bit too young, but to remember this. But we actually, you know, back in the day, you couldn't do internet on your phone, only voice calls, right? I know it's hard to believe, but it's actually true. So then mobile broadband, the app economy grew with 4G, and then of course now we're into mobile social networking, fixed wireless access, so replacing fiber cords with wireless communication. And as I talked about, the industries are going wireless as well. This is one of the main developments that we are driving and supporting as well. Of course, we are now in 2023. In Korea, 5G systems are about 4 years old. And there is a future, of course, and we like in this industry so far to call these according to the generation, so that will most likely be called 6G, the next one, and that will definitely incorporate a lot more AI components and digital twin type technologies. But I think that part is yet to be defined in a lot of detail. But it's an exciting future that we have here in Korea, but also globally for our industry. Very good. So just a glimpse of Ericsson globally then. We are roughly 105,000 people working globally. And you see here the distribution of that. So main focus, Europe and Latin America. Of course, we have a strong presence in Sweden, as this is our home country. But actually our biggest country globally in terms of number of employees is India today. So you see Southeast Asia, Oceania and India, 26,000 people, and majority of those are actually in India, employed in India. And I will get back to the R&D part later. I mean, obviously today we are here in the R&D center in Ericsson-LG in Gasan, and this is one out of many R&D centers globally then for Ericsson. I should mention, so we invest roughly 17-18% of all the revenue that Ericsson makes goes back into technology investments into R&D. And that means today it's about $4.5 billion every year is invested into technology development, innovation, and new development. So we are then Ericsson-LG. So here in Korea, we are operating as a joint venture. And this joint venture has been formed since, was formed in 2010. And the structure is that Ericsson Group owns 75% of Ericsson-LG, and LG Electronics is 25% shareholder. Yeah, I'm the CEO of the company, and then we have Henry here in the audience as well, our CFO. So in Korea then, we are 850 people employed, and that includes then sales towards the operators in in Korea, so SKT, KT, LGU+, but also sales towards the enterprises that I mentioned before. But the majority of the people are engaged in R&D, and the majority of the people are actually located here in Gasan. And this is R&D for our global market. So what the work that we do here is going into products and services that we sell globally in the world. A part of what we do is specific for Korea, but the majority of it is for the global market. And I mentioned 1896 then, the first switch to the Joseon dynasty. We have had a number of world's firsts since then, including in 1995, CDMA networks, first deployment in Korea, but then more recently, the world's first 5G launches were supported by us here to all three operators here. So we have a very, very strong and proud history in Korea, and we intend to be a very strong player on this market moving forward as well. So I mentioned R&D in Korea. This is the majority of our people here in Korea are working in research and development. And this is then mainly within 5G radio access development, so the access part of the network, the radio part of the network. But we also are pivoting also a lot of the works towards new architectures and like Cloud RAN, so the cloudification of the radio access network, and also beyond 5G technologies, or you might call them 6G as well. So the Seoul R&D Center is really at the forefront of what we do globally, and is working on a lot of the cutting edge technologies that the industry is pushing and that Ericsson is pushing in the industry, like the cloudification of the radio networks and also beyond 5G technologies. I should mention as well, it's a very sizable operation that we have here. So we are actually the largest foreign company. This is the largest ICT investment of any foreign company in Korea that we have here. So our commitment to this market is very strong. Good, and this is a bit of the way we look at each other and the way the industry looks at us. So actually industry analysts are saying Ericsson is the 5G leader. There's a very famous, or the definitive benchmark company called Gartner, and they do benchmarks in all kinds of different areas, but the one that we look at for 5G is called the 5G Magic Quadrant. And in this one, we have for 3-4 years now been identified as the leader of the industry. And on the back of that then, we have 140 live networks powering 5G globally, and 3 of those are in Korea. And Korea is very interesting because there's a lot of competition here among operator and among vendors as well. And when we look at the benchmarks that come out from the government here, we feel very confident about our performance and the fact that we are actually leading here in Korea, and also we see the same picture emerging globally. And I think this is being recognized as well by many of our customers. So I wanted to touch a little bit on innovation. I mean, I know that the participants today are all in university right now, and you're probably thinking about a future within technology and innovation and creation, right? So the way that we work is basically 3 pillars among innovation. One is Ericsson Research. So a large part of that investment that I talked about of $4.5 billion goes into basic research around technologies and basic technologies and standardization of technologies moving forward. So that's the Ericsson research part. Then we have co-creation and innovation labs globally as well. So we have maybe the biggest investment that we make is in Silicon Valley, where we partner with all the web scalers and all other innovative companies and co-create applications that can be used on top of these 5G networks that we use. And then last but not least, probably the biggest part of that investment is our research and development. So this is where, like in this building, we are doing a lot of course, programming and innovation on a daily basis. And part of that innovation is going into, of course, patents. So globally, we have 60,000 patents granted, Ericsson as a company, and a growing portion of that is coming also from Seoul. And so we are encouraging and we are driving a lot of innovation work and also awarding patent applications specifically here for our teams. Good. So coming back then to diversity and inclusion, I think there have been a lot of studies basically proving that the most diverse and inclusive companies in the world are giving a higher profitability, a higher innovation, revenue coming from innovation, and also a more diverse basis for decision making as well. So basically leading to better decisions. And I can say, I mean, I have worked now almost a quarter of a century. That sounds like a long time in various functions. And from personal experience, I think the most powerful, the most high-performing teams that I have worked in have been the diverse ones, where you have a speak-up culture, people dare to say their opinion, and you have a diverse set of opinions coming out. So I'm a true believer in the value of these of diversity and inclusion, and we have a commitment at Ericsson-LG to drive a more diverse environment, and we do that in various ways. I think part of that is tied to the culture that we are creating. We're doing encouraging especially females to take maternity leave when that time comes. We're promoting a 50-50 work from home culture even after the pandemic now. And we are promoting as well recommended leave, so days when we recommend our employees to take a day off and spend time with family and so on. So those are some of the things, but one of the bigger investments that we do as well is, of course, today. So this is a really exciting day, I think, for the whole company when we get to invite young talent into our company and to show your innovation and creativity. And of course, we would like for that relationship to be more long-lasting than just today. So with those words, I will finish off today, and again welcome you here. And soon we will go into the most exciting part of today as well, to see the winners of today. So thank you very much and welcome.
Thank you, Hannes. Okay, so as Hannes mentioned, we have a very special guest from UN Women's Center of Excellence for Gender Equality. So I'd like to invite Mr. Eungu Lee, the Research and Data Specialist, to the stage. Over to you, Mr. Lee.
Thank you very much for having me here. I'm really excited to be here to give a short presentation on exploring the link between the technology and women. Okay. Okay, so before I jump into the main presentations, I would like to just briefly go over what UN Women does. That's where I'm from. I'm the research and data specialist there. So UN Women is a United Nations entity exclusively dedicated to promoting gender equality and empowerment of women. So we have four thematic focus areas. That's one, governance, economic empowerment, ending violence against women, peace and security. So all of these focus areas are very important to us. We make sure that women have full and equal participation in all decision-making process, and we also make sure that they benefit from legal and institutional measures placed within the country. And enhancing economic empowerment is also a very important issue for us. We make sure this involves empowering women to have stable income security, decent work, and economic autonomy. And we've seen violence against women rising during the COVID-19 pandemic period. So we work with national governments and UN agencies and CSOs, civil society organizations, to end violence against women in all forms. And this includes also online and offline. We've seen rising technology facilitated violence online cyberspaces, and we take this as a serious measure. And we also believe that women and girls have greater influence in building sustainable peace and resilience in all women, peace and security agenda. So we want to increase the participation of women through these processes. So our headquarters is based in New York, and we are, as you can see, we are represented all over the world. We have regional offices and liaison country offices all over the world, and our Center of Excellence was established here in Seoul November of last year, so we're quite new. And our center is basically focused on promoting gender equality and performing research, evidence-based research. We try to collect data and try to inform the countries within the Asian Pacific region. So those are our mandates. So we recently published a report on sustainable development goals, especially if you heard of SDGs. SDG number 5 is dedicated to gender equality. And according to that report, at the current rate of progress, it may take another 286 years to achieve gender equality. So we need to do a lot of more concerted efforts to achieve this equality. But with this rate, I'm afraid that we might not be able to achieve this in our lifetime. So. So the session of the Commission on the Status of Women is very important to us because this is an intergovernmental body that is exclusively dedicated to promote gender equality and empowerment of women. And we recently had this commission in New York back in March of this year. And this year's priority theme is actually to explore the link between the technology and women, and how to empower women using these various benefits of technology and innovations. But the Commission also recognized the importance of actually promoting the full, equal, and meaningful participation and leadership of women and girls in all stages of technology development, right from the beginning, at the design stage. Because we often see at this design stage, a lot of male-dominated designers. So hence, we have technology products that do not have, female gender considerations. So the Commission really identified this as a serious problem, and we are working on to promote how to involve women in all stages of technology development. So here at home in Republic of Korea, as you can see on the screen, the gender gap in science and engineering is quite substantial. And what is more worrisome is that as you move up to the higher level of education, the gap is widening. And you could also see a much bigger gap in the workforce and in the universities. So this is something that factual information that we really have to address gender equality here in Korea. So we women, we believe that technologies can bring many benefits to change the lives of women. So we have a program since we've been running this program since 2004 in partnership with civil society organizations and academia to empower women so that they have a skill to change their lives. So we mainly focus on marginalized population across the world. So these programs aim usually the illiterate older women living in the rural areas. So we basically teach basic engineering skills. And we also provide a solar kit to assemble and to install in their homes and around the near villages. So the purpose of this program is to empower these women, and many of these women have worked in the agricultural sector for most of their lives. So that through this program, we empower these women to gain a skill to improve their social and economic conditions. So I'd like to just show you an example of how gender bias can be integrated into automotive design. I'm sure you have seen this diagram before. I know many of you might have seen this one. This is an example of how we disregard the gender biasness because when car companies use crash dummies, test crash dummies, they basically use able-bodied male characteristics. So based on these experimental results, obviously they exclude the physical body features of female, such as the forms and shapes of the torso, the muscle strength and the ligaments, and dynamic female trauma when they are exposed to automotive accidents. So we need to do more research and push the governments actually to sort of like have a safety standards that require dynamic crash testing with average size female crash dummies with multiple seating positions. So this is something that we normally ignore, but we need to have this mainstreamed in our policies and also research institutes everywhere. When I was doing this presentation, I was going through the Google Translate because Google Translate is one of the prime example of using AI technologies. And as you know, I've seen your presentations and you're all experts in AI. And I noticed that, for example, if you type naughty girl, naughty boy in Google Translate just today, when you go home, just type it, and you will see these results. And naughty girl, as you can see, the Korean translation for naughty girl is obviously gender bias with some negative connotations. But this is the opposite case for naughty boy. So this is a typical example of everyday life that we're not aware of this gender biasness, and this result happens because Google Translate uses training data that is already biased in itself. So so we really need to take some actions to raise our awareness and to take some practical actions to rectify this error. So I think I've been talking about, how gender norms shape, influence technologies and innovations. But you could think of sort of like the other way. I think the CEO has already mentioned in his presentation already, but that having a gender diversity could actually also promote more innovation and more greater corporate social responsibility, and that leads to better performance of the company. So, I mean, there are mounting evidences and empirical studies that suggest that this is true, but we probably need to do more research, actually. So this sort of like an approach that we are convincing the public and the corporate sectors that it's mutually beneficial to have gender diversity at workplace. So half of the world population is women and girls. So we really have to work to make this peaceful and to make this to make our world a better place. And I'm really happy to be here and to see all your presentation, because you're probably the leaders of the future tech, and I have high expectations for you. Thank you very much for your listening. Thank you.
Wow, thank you for your inspirational presentation. Thank you. And next, we have two colleagues of our Ericsson-LG, and they will share their experience with diversity and inclusion. So we have Jiwon Kim and Jason Han will be on the stage. So first, I invite Jiwon Kim.
Hi, my name is Jiwon Kim, and I am a research engineer in Ericsson's Seoul R&D site. I am so glad to get an opportunity to introduce my story in Ericsson, and I would like to congratulate all the participants of Girls in ICT Hackathon finale. I am now working as a 5G RAN software developer, and I joined Ericsson last December. Ericsson is my first company, so it's only been about 6 months since I came here, but even in the short period of time, I realized that Ericsson is a really good company to work for. So let me explain you. So most people here are well aware that Ericsson is a global company and probably think that it's a good advantage. These are the most common perceptions of, we say, foreign company in Korea. Global employees, respect diversity, and good work-life balance. Ericsson is actually realizing these values. This is the catchphrase of our company. Imagine a world where limitless connectivity means limitless possibility. Ericsson tries to make this real. They aim to create a borderless world, not only through their business, but also in their workplace. By setting up branches in various countries, Ericsson is able to gain more diverse, talented workers than in a single country. It means that developers like me can cooperate with colleagues with a wider technology stack, which allows us to see a single problem from multiple perspectives. Also, since it is inevitable to encounter different languages and cultures while working in global company, we can expand our horizons so that we can get more closer to the world without boundaries in a social level. So these advantages are a clear difference from other domestic companies, and I personally think that it helps me and both the company to improve. I'm just a developer in Ericsson. lots of people from lots of countries work for Ericsson, so I think the terms like general does not exist. The feeling I've had since I first came here was all of my attributes don't matter, and I'm just treated as one developer. Ericsson doesn't take my race, gender, age, or any other things unusual. They try to respect employees' properties and try to give as much opportunities as possible to various people. I can just introduce me as one word, just developer, and I'm really happy about this. Lastly, work-life balance. Previously, I said that Ericsson respects individuals and gives opportunities to various people. Ericsson's time management system makes this possible. All people has their own business and environments, so sometimes they may not be able to work fully functional. The most common example can be like having a baby, which can be the turning point of your life. In this situation, Ericsson supports their employees with their various systems. Currently, we are now working under a flexible time management system, which allows us to work at my most efficient time. According to my experience during 6 months, working with my own timetable enhances my performance very much. This is possible because Ericsson does not make working time flexible, but also they have very well-organized workflows such as Agile or WOWs, way of working. These kinds of systems helps employees to perform their task step by step, so we can work in more systematic environments, and a newcomer like me can adapt to the company very soon. This is the advantage which I heard the most from my colleagues since I came here, and I'm pretty sure that you will also be satisfied of it when you join Ericsson. So this is what I realized, this is what I feel after I came here, and for this reason I can just say that whoever you are, you will feel being welcomed when you come to Ericsson. Thank you. And since the time has been left, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. If there are no questions, thank you for listening.
Any questions after the event, you can reach to the G1, of course. She will happily answer your questions. So next is finally our Jason Han. Please come to the stage.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jason Han from Ericsson. I'm a portfolio manager for the Northeast Asia region. My presentation is a little bit personal. It's not very formal. I find it an opportunity to tell you a little bit about the diversity and inclusion I've experienced before I joined Ericsson and after I joined Ericsson. So, before I joined Ericsson, I guess I came from a pretty diverse background. I lived in the United States for about 10 years. I'm from Seattle, Washington. Anybody from Seattle, Washington here? No? Okay. And see that crazy kid on the left top, the middle, with the cornrow? That's me right there. Yeah, so I used to be, I'm still crazy, but I used to be even crazier. So, but more importantly, I think I've always been a kind of kid that wanted to kind of find something new, and if I find it interesting, I wanted to kind of challenge myself and get better at it, right? So originally, I found art very interesting, so I wanted to major in art. So I studied, like, only 2 subjects I studied in high school was art and math, right? But then by the time I went to college, you know, like, I just couldn't find myself making a lot of money with art, so I had to study engineering. So in college, I had 3 different engineering majors. I studied with electrical engineering, and then industrial engineering, and then I finished up with computer science within 4 years. So I didn't take any electives. It was crazy. I don't know how I did that. But the thing is, I wanted to challenge myself. And before I joined Ericsson, I had 2 different jobs. And so I worked as an English teacher for about a year. That's me right there, right bottom, playing with kids. I was like the BTS of the international school. The kids loved me so much. And then I worked as a field application engineer. I traveled around the world and I fixed things, right? And I briefly worked with my dad. And I highly recommend that you don't work with your family unless you're making a lot of money, because it was pretty tough. But I've had different jobs, right? But after I joined Ericsson, so it's my 9th year in Ericsson. I know I look much older. My tendency to challenge myself and find something interesting never stopped, right? So I started my career here as a software developer. But then I wanted to understand a little bit more about the business aspect of this industry, because it's pretty interesting, right? You don't find so many people working for the telecommunications, right? So I decided to apply for an MBA program. It was a like night program where you have to work, and then you go to school afterwards, right? So I received like 4 letters of recommendation from my managers and applied for the program, and I got in. So for 3 years, I worked full-time, and I attended school afterwards for 3 years. Again, I don't know how I did that. I can never do it again. It was pretty tough. But luckily, after that, I was able to switch my position from developer and to where I'm at right now. I was able to experience different things, and it's been wonderful, wonderful experiences I had so far. So lastly, what is diversity to you? Okay, so none of you is going to answer that, right? So diversity to me, I think it's you're different. Everyone's different, but not in a bad way, right? Everyone's unique. And if you continue to try to find yourself and try to challenge yourself to be better at what you like and what you want to be good at, then, I mean, this company is going to give you that opportunity. That's what I've experienced so far. And I consider myself pretty different. I lived in a different country, and I'm a pretty crazy kid. I was a developer, now in sales, technical sales. But my colleagues just really accepted me for who I am, especially my boss. My boss is here, so I just want to give a shout out. So, all right. So every one of you, I think, is on the right track. The fact that you're here, you're challenging yourself, you want to get better, I think you're doing a great job. So just continue doing that. And I want to finish up by saying that, good luck to you, and I think you're going to be great. So thank you for listening to my presentation. If you have any questions, please ask me. I think I have 5 minutes left. Okay.
Do you have any questions for him? Because we have 5 minutes left, so you can do that if you want. Yes, please. Please, camera.
I saw a lot of picture, very, very interesting picture you have. And one of the picture is you take with Martin Victorin.
Yes.
What was that? What was your story with him?
There was about 9 years ago when I first joined this company. There was about I was 30 pounds less than I am right now. But we had a get together with my colleagues, and the former CEO got together and talked about the company and how we feel about it. So it was it was really welcoming. Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Very naughty boy. Yeah. Okay. So 개구쟁이죠, 되게. Okay, so are we ready for the 3 winning teams? So, are you ready? We are ready. So please come to the stage. Okay, so if your team name is called, please come to the stage and we will give you the award certificate, and please say a few words to the online attendees and also the our judges. So there might be your friends and parents and your professors at university. So let me go to the stage. So first best awards will be presented by Yongbom Lee, one of our R&D technical mentors. Yes. So do you remember we've been 7 years for this project? So how is it feeling?
After mentoring Hackathon for many years, this year is the best, I can tell. Whoever will be the winner, all of you guys did great job. Yes.
Okay, thank you. You ready? So the first best award goes to, drum roll please. Any sounds? Okay, let's make the drum rolls. Okay. Do.
But sorry for calling just one team. Sunny Bunny Honey? Harmony? Harmony.
Okay, so team Sunny Bunny Harmony. Please come to the stage. Congratulations. Any background music for celebrating? Okay. Okay, thank you. Can I take a group photo with the mentor? 같이 사진 촬영 한번 하겠습니다. 제가. Okay, can I 한마디?
길면 길고 짧으면 짧은 시간 동안 저희 3명이서 열심히 한 만큼 성과를 얻게 돼서 너무 기쁘고 감사합니다.
모두 수고하셨습니다.
So, and then second best awards will be presented by Sharon. Please come to the stage. Sharon, this is your first. Yeah, Girls in ICT. So how's your feeling?
Yeah, I would like to say I enjoy the whole process. You know, when I see so many young students, female students join the session, it's remind me my time in the university. You know, my major is actually computer science, so I'm also from the technical background. So there are 3 impressions, let me say this way. I think number 1 is, I think it's very good. You know, our theme this time is to address the climate challenge, right? So I think this is a big issue globally. I think you are still in the university, but you start to address the big problem by leveraging the technology. This is so good. Okay. The number 2 is the confidence level. You know, when I see you answer the questions, especially the challenge from the jury, all of you demonstrate the challenge, demonstrate the confidence to face the challenge. You know, from the females, males, and then I can see the confidence level from all of you, which is so wonderful. And the third one is, I know one of the team joined twice, which is also very impressive to me. You know, one of the difference, I don't have any gender bias, to be honest. But I think one of the strengths from the female is the resilience. Okay, sometimes we are more resilient than the males. Sorry for the males, okay? but this is the strength of the female. So continue, take the challenges. No matter win or loss, it's not the most important thing. I think the most important thing is you are here. Okay, participate the challenge, and you're already the winners.
Thank you. The second best award goes to
Guardians of Forest.
They didn't expect it. Congratulations. Come to the stage. Let's take a photo together. It seems they don't expect they are winning. Sorry. Out of memory. Okay. Thank you. Please take your time to say a few words.
이번 해커톤을 진행하는 동안 정말 이 친구들과 함께 많은 시간을 보냈는데요. 노력해준 우리 팀원들 너무 고맙고 해커톤 참여하신 모든 분들 정말 수고 많으셨습니다.
Okay, so we have one seat left, so don't lose your hope. You have a possibility. So the third best awards will be presented by Hannes. Please come to the stage. So I will ask how's your feeling after the announcement? After the announcement, okay. Okay. So the last but least best award goes to, drum roll please.
So the last award goes to winner.
Please come to the stage. Winner wins hackathon. Congratulations. Okay, let's take a photo. Photo time. Smile. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Please say a few.
해커톤을 참여하는 전 과정이 저에게는 너무 즐거웠습니다. 크고 작은 문제들이 좀 있었긴 했지만 개발하는 과정에서 하지만 그 문제점들 또한 저희에겐 해결하는 과정이 정말 행복이었던 것 같습니다. 큰 상 주셔서 감사합니다.
Finally, winner is winner.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Finally, please. How's your feeling?
So I want to echo what was said earlier. I think this year, this is my second Girls in ICT event. And I have to compliment and thank all the participants for their great contributions this year. I think every contribution here was extremely valuable, and I can tell you that the gap between first and the rest was very, very small this year, much smaller than it has been in previous years. So really, I want everybody to be proud of your achievement, to making it to the final, and if you didn't win today, don't give up. I'll see you next year. That's the first thing, so thank you very much. And I'd also like to thank the Ericsson-LG team who made this possible, the production team, marketing and communications, our jury as well, our special guests from UN. And, you know, for me, it's, I see the statistics around diversity and inclusion, and especially, I'm not Korean, but I come into Korea and I see a lot of work to do and a lot of improvements to be made. And for me, this is a very important topic. I mean, I'm also actually the father of a 12-year-old daughter, and I would like her as well to grow up in a society where she is accepted and has the possibilities that every person should have, right? And I think for me, this is Ericsson-LG, our annual initiative to stimulate this within our company, but also to develop these aspects of Korean culture and Korean society as well. So for me and for the entire Ericsson-LG team, this is a very important event, and it's only possible because you are contributing with your time and your commitment and energy into this. So again, thank you very much. And I'd also like to say the theme of this year, I think, was very fitting. I think we all see in the newspaper or in media these types of catastrophic events every day, more or less, right? And it's easy to look at that and become a bit negative about the future. But I think today what you gave me, and I hope we gave each other, was a glimpse of the future. What can we do with technology, innovation, and also diversity, right? So I think I leave today much more positive about the future than when I came this morning. So thank you for that, and again, I hope to see you in the future and also many of you next year as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So this is all from Girls in ICT 2023 Hackathon. So, and also special thanks to not only the 5 finalist team, but also the all students that who submitted their ideas to our event this year. So hopefully, as Hannes mentioned, see you next year, and thank you. Thank you all. 감사합니다.